Germany's last hope lay in their wonder weapons. The V-2 rocket, a huge leap forward in the history of military technology. It was a weapon system to herald a new form of warfare. Now I knew how to get Muller. One true shot from the flak tower to his command tower.
Alright, he's tagged. Alright, let's go. Say goodnight, Gracie.
The only target left was Wolf, but I hadn't a clue where he was hiding. I knew the Ivans had a special operations command post in East Berlin. Perhaps he was in contact with them. I packed up and headed out, followed the sounds of fighting and tank fire.
Alright, hey guys, it's Yusef. That's Free Time Let's Plays. I haven't put any any voiceover to this until now. Like I muted it by mistake. But anyway, so this whole level, like now that I listen to the briefing, the level doesn't really make sense. First of all, are the Ivans the Russians? The who had contact with the Ivans? What? So the German scientist, the German guy has contact with the Russians, and that's why he's going to the Russian place to see if they have documents on that. Like, I don't know if that makes a lot of sense to me. But anyway, as promised, I'm going to talk about the role of snipers in World War II. Now, okay, I'm reading through these articles and stuff, or these exposés or whatever. And I'm coming to understand that the role of the American sniper was very, very diminished. Okay, the snipers were they were actually bolstered, like, in forces by Russians. So the during some Spanish War, let me go ahead and read this before I mess everything up so bad. Here we go. It says, the art of sniping developed from the sharpshooting practice during earlier conflicts. During the 19th century, the steady improving technology of the rifle led to the use of sharpshooters in the American Civil War and the Boer War, B-O-E-R, Boer. However, it was during World War I that sniping progressed from simply a good marksman picking choice targets to a systematic use of selected men trained and equipped with highly accurate rifles, telescopic sights, and high-grade ammunition who engage high-value targets with single shots, usually at long range. As is so often the case, immediately after World War I ended, most of the protagonists discarded the skills and wisdom they had so painstakingly acquired, considering them no more than adjuncts of the type of warfare in the trenches that they dearly wish to forget. But British, in particular, have taken a long time to recognize the potential for organized sniping. Had been long... blah, blah, blah. Sorry about that, guys. The British had been... For those of you who don't listen to my podcast, I really don't like when people embed extra information in sentences. Like they add commas and then they just add extra stuff, because nobody talks like that. I don't say this sniper, who is actually half German, half American, is a pretty good sniper. Like, I just say he's a pretty good sniper. You know, he's half German, half American. Like, that's what I do. So I don't seem to read commas very well when they're like snuck into these words, and then I have a problem. Yeah, I mean, how do you know you're supposed to change your tone while you're reading, huh? Anyway, it said that the British had been among its best practitioners for sniping by 1918, but were nevertheless swift to forget all they had learned, which is true. There's a movie with Jude Law that I watched that was about British snipers in fighting the Germans. It was actually a pretty cool movie. Anyway, during the interwar period, little development took place, although there was an ad hoc sniping on both sides during the Spanish Civil War. It was the Soviet advisors to the Republican side who chose to consider it further when they returned to the Soviet Union and introduced programs to the Red Army to augment existing civilian rifle shooting schemes. When World War II began, a new style of warfare was introduced. It was capable of swift and extensive movement and created very different battlefield conditions in a variety of theaters worldwide. In these conditions, the art of the sniper could be adapted to produce an effective weapon. All right, so it was the Soviet Union that actually bolstered the sniper program for World War II. It says the German army retained sniping as a specialization between the wars, but showed little enthusiasm for its pursuit. In the opening campaigns in Poland and the West, the Germans moved so rapidly that there was no real opportunity for snipers to demonstrate their value. It was not until later in the campaign against the Soviet Union, after Soviet snipers had demonstrated their worth, that the British army caught up. Or the German army caught up, sorry. The British army had been totally remiss in its attention to the skills it had done so much to develop previously. In 1942, sniping instructor Lieutenant Colonel N.A.D. Armstrong commented on the attitude prevailing between the wars. He said there appeared to be a tendency amongst Army musketrymen to scorn the sniper. They held that sniping was only a phenomenon of trench warfare and would be unlikely to occur again. Although training manuals still covered sniping, little was done at a battalion level to maintain and encourage it until the retraining programs that followed the evacuation of the British expeditionary force from Dunkirk. However, British snipers engaged in Norway and France through 1940. All right, now I'm going to skip ahead. Let me skip ahead to what kind of made these snipers, because this article has stories, which I think is awesome. Sniping stories are cool. I mean, I'm sure when you're making the story, it's boring as hell. Like, being a sniper is no fun. You just sit motionless for a long time during the day. Don't eat. You piss and you poop in your spots. You know what I'm saying? And then you wait for somebody to appear, and then you shoot them, and that's pretty much it. Like here, you know, my character doesn't have to worry about getting headshotted by other snipers. Like, it takes at least 3 hits for a sniper to kill this dude, so it's not a big deal. However, being out here in the open is a complete no-no, and shooting during the sun is also a complete no-no, so that makes it doubly interesting. But anyway, after the sniper had fired at a British officer entering... Oh, hold on. It says, during the retreat to Dunkirk, rabbits... Let me go ahead and... Here we go. It says... Edgar Rabbits was a soldier in the 5th Battalion, Northamptonshire Regiment. This is British people. Territorial Army Unit. A countryman from Boston and Lincolnshire. He was capable of catching a rabbit in his hands. Wow. That's kind of cool. When his unit was deployed to France, he was appointed as a company sniper and given complete freedom of action to engage enemy snipers and high-value targets. By choice, he worked alone, although the common practice is for snipers to work in pairs. Yeah, one spots things, the other one shoots things. During the retreat to Dunkirk, Rabbits was ordered forward to eliminate a German sniper operating in a Belgian village. According to Rabbits, the sniper had got himself up in a roof and knocked a few slates away. He got a good field of fire if anyone walked into the square. He was roughly in the center of one side of the square, and his mate was in the corner. And they covered the whole square that way, the one effectively protecting the other. After the sniper had fired at a British officer entering the square, Rabbits found out roughly where the flash had come from and went into a house opposite. The sniper was hanging out of the roof. I shot him from the bedroom window and he fell forward. The observer fired blindly at Rabbits, so he killed the sniper first, and then the observer, the second guy, he rolled up and with the gun and is like, "Oh my God, I don't know how to snipe." The observer fired blindly at Rabbits. Rabbits, that's Rabbets, by the way. Thus revealing his own position. Rabbits was firing deep from out of the bedroom window and wasn't exposed to view. He assumed wrongly that I was a lot nearer to the bedroom window than I was, and he gave himself away, so that was his law. That was his law. Rabbits was an excellent marksman, capable of a first-round hit at 400 yards with the standard .303 Lee Enfield rifle. Oh, I died. Oh well. Which may be generally defined as the use of camouflage and concealment enabled him to close with the enemy and improve the chances of his success. Where he had outstanding field craft. So basically, this is hard to read. Let me go ahead and the Rabbits dude, he was an excellent marksman, obviously, but what was really important was his ability to understand the terrain. All right, the other sniper, he made himself obvious, perching up at top of the spots and just killing people to get his kill up, but he didn't really have a plan to escape. Rabbits set himself up, blocked the sun from hitting his sights, so that there wouldn't be a little shine, and that's why he was far enough from the window to make that happen. But it's interesting because he must have been pretty far away from the tower to catch that angle at a point where he can be away from the window. Does that make sense? Because if you think about it, the angle, if you're coming straight out of the window, you would improve the angle. But if you duck inside the window and shoot from there, then the angle has to be lowered. So you have to be pretty far away to get that sort of angle to shoot up into a tower, which is pretty impressive. Anyway, let's go on to somebody else. Because they talk about, that was a British dude. They talk about this guy, Vasily Zaitsev. Let me see what he says. Here we go. He said, during the Battle of Stalingrad, top Soviet snipers came to prominence. The most famous was Vasily Zaitsev, formerly a hunter of the Urals and noted sniper before the battle, having claimed over 100 kills between August and November 1942. He founded a sniper school whose students received a 2-day course before being sent to the ruined city to hunt Germans. Zaitsev became something of a celebrity, and his appearance in Soviet newspapers led the Germans to send the chief instructor of the sniper school at Zossen near Berlin. A more personal contest could not occur in war. You know, when some of the best Soviet snipers were killed by a rifle obviously fitted with a telescopic sight, Zaitsev knew he was up against a Nazi super sniper and set out to finish it one way or the other. He set off with his spotter, Nikolai Kulikov, and roamed the city for several days until he discovered a ruse that had been obviously set up to trap a Soviet sniper. All right. Zaitsev remembered. Between the tank and the pillow box on the stretched level of ground lay a sheet of metal and a small pile of broken bricks. Hold on a second.
It wasn't much to go on, but it was enough. Taubun was a nerve agent, powerful and lethal. Breathe it, touch it, even look at it, and your body shut down in all sorts of gruesome ways. Wolf was the architect of the plan, a chemical weapons specialist. He was helping the Russians fill the last of Germany's V-2 rockets with this stuff. Their target, London. Those cunning red bastards would make it look like Germany's final revenge. Killing Wolf would have to wait. Nothing else mattered now. I had to stop that launch.
First of all, let me say how impressive it is. The game says that the sniper is half American, half German. But apparently, according to those documents he read, he can read German and Russian. That's super impressive, man. I mean, not only is he a A-class sniper, but he's like a super reconnaissance guy too. Anyway, let me read this again. Zaitsev remembered, between the tank and the pillow box, on a stretch of level ground, lay a sheet of metal and a small pile of broken bricks. It had been lying there for a long time, and we had grown accustomed to it being there. I put myself in the enemy's position and thought, where better for a sniper? One only had to make a firing slit in the sheet of metal and creep up to it during the night. Okay? So the guy's just kind of like, what I thought is weird is that they lay a sheet of metal and a pile of broken bricks, so they just kind of like set up a dugout for the sniper stuff. Why wait for the sniper to, like, you have to kill him sniper style, obviously. Like, even in the Jude Law movie, the two snipers would wait for each other to come out. You know what I mean? They try to outweight each other, which I thought was really weird, because it's like, you could totally, like, just, if you know where he is, just, like, walk up behind him and shoot his ass. Like, I don't... I don't get it, but whatever. So anyway, Zaitsev was convinced, and when he carefully raised a false target, the German put a bullet clean through the middle. Now came the question of luring even a part of his head into my sights. We worked by night and were in position by dawn. The sun rose. Kulikov took a blind spot. That's his spotter. He took a blind shot. Sorry about that. We had to rouse the sniper's curiosity. We had decided to spend the morning waiting, as we might have been given away by the sun in our telescopic sights. After lunch, our rifles were in the shade, and the sun was shining on the Germans' position. Kulikov, carefully, as only the most experienced can do, began to raise his helmet. The German fired. For a fraction of a second, Kulikov rose and screamed. Ah! The German believed that he had finally gotten the Soviet sniper he had been hunting for 4 days, and half raised his head from beneath the sheet of metal. Nice. That was what I had been banking on. I took careful aim. The German's head fell back, and the telescopic sight of his rifle lay motionless, glittering in the sun. Got him. Anyway. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? Soviet snipers just having a whole plan of warfare to outweight each other and trick each other into believing that they killed each other, and then going after each other when they trick each other. This one German sniper, he didn't have a partner with him, or a spotter, so he didn't have anything extra. You know, he made himself a nice little sniper's nest and gave himself away because another sniper recognized how great his nest was. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, the article goes on to talk about a whole bunch of other snipers, which it's a pretty dope article. Caught in the crosshairs is what it's called, and it says that America didn't really do well with snipers. They didn't utilize them like whatsoever. They didn't have they had sharpshooters, but they didn't really bolster a program to make snipers very helpful. They were like the last of them. You know what I mean? Let me yeah, they more or less just came up with tactics to discourage snipers. Like, yeah. Let me read about the most deadliest one before I stop running my mouth about snipers and we finish up this level, and then we're back to me talking normal. So there's a list of top 10 snipers in the world, like the top 10 snipers of World War II and how many confirmed kills they had. And 9 of the snipers are actually Russian snipers, except for one dude who is who is from Finland. His name is Simo Hayaha. I can't do Finland names. There's umlauts everywhere. It's ridiculous. Anyway, it said it's the most deadliest sniper of the World War II. Simo Haya had 542 confirmed kills with a confirmed total number of 705, with the unconfirmed total number of 705. I don't know how they keep track of these. Not only is he the most deadliest sniper of World War II, but he's also believed to be the most deadly sniper of all time. All his kills were against the Red Army, who nicknamed him White Death. Haya wore white camouflage to match his environment, the snow. He would even keep snow in his mouth, believing the steam produced from his mouth could fog up his scope and causing issues. That's interesting. He was shot in the war, which disfigured his face, but he lived to be 96, only dying in 2002. All right. That dude's a badass. Another article that I read explained that he didn't use a scope. He just used straight up regular sights, so he could basically fire on anybody at any time of the day, because he was just blasting folks like no sun, no reflection, no nothing. Just gets his gun as a little farmer guy, gets in there and shoots those reds or whatever. It's ridiculous, man. That's so crazy. Everybody's out here with sights and everything like that. He's just looking down his old rifle, his old farming rifle, killing folks. I guess he didn't really need those headshots, though. He's just like, well, no, I just hit these specific spots and I practice. Maybe he's got the eagle eye or something. But anyway, that was crazy that he was able to kill 702 dudes without a rifle scope at all. I don't think I could kill even close to that many in this game alone. So anyway, that's all I got, and we'll let you finish out the this thing. Go back to me talking normal. By the way, that jungle juice is like impossible to get, isn't it? I mean, seriously, it's so well camouflaged. Like, I'm not looking around the area for bottles of wine, and there's 37 of them. I'm still in the single digits, and I'm close to the end of the game. That's ridiculous. Anyway, also, sorry for the spoiler, but yeah, they did reveal what Taubun is. I just didn't figure it out when I played the game because I'm dumb. So anyway, you guys have fun. That's Free Time Let's Plays. Peace.